that anybody, forced me to do. This wasn't anything that anybody forced me to do. I chose it. And, but recognizing that in some ways, it may be a constrained choice, but it was still my choice. And so in that sense, I feel kind of stuck in between a couple places because in some ways, I do feel like I am, my life is kind of an example of speaking truth to power, to the power that says that my worth is connected to my abilities and my willingness to be a stay-at-home mom. But on the other hand, speaking truth to the power that says, I definitely sometimes feel like, well, I'm not being a good feminist because I'm not going back to work right away. And, but that's just kind of, that's my reality, and that was my choice. And, that's kind of my own personal example right now of how I'm doing that. Another aspect, to my goals and my action plan, I think it's really important for me that I want to avoid shaming people who disagree with me. I want to avoid shaming people, especially in this particular area of gender inequality. And I want to rely on assertiveness. And what I mean by that is just I want to be able to, stand up for my rights, express my ideas, and if need be, protect my personal space that I'm allowed. But I don't want to violate another person's space. I don't want to be aggressive against them and make them, feel attacked, because I don't think that when people feel attacked, they can really listen to what's being said. And that's not what I want at all. I don't want people, I don't want to try to control people or manipulate people into agreeing with me. I want to just speak the truth of, what I'm living and what I think, and then people can decide, how they feel about it. And then finally, I feel like it's very important, to create coalitions, to build alliances, and it's one way to help an individual bring about change, because there's a certain collective power that you gain, I believe, when you have when you're surrounded by people that you trust, when you're surrounded by people that you can work with, and you can kind of feed off each other, you can encourage each other, you can teach each other things. And that's something that, especially in the area of trying to right social inequality, you need more than just individuals working alone. You need people in different positions, in a coalition who are working towards trying to make things better for everybody. And so, yeah, I mean, that's kind of my plan going into the future, where I want to build alliances with everybody, with men, with women, with, you know, with, non-conforming individuals who see themselves differently, because, peaceful collaboration has to involve all the different voices. You can't just say that, well, you can't just listen to an individual woman's voice and say, oh, well, that's the opinion of all women. You wouldn't do that to men, so why would you do that to women? And you can't do that, to other people as well. And so, just, yeah, so in conclusion, I know this video is getting kind of long. I apologize for that. But, those who have power and privilege often, they don't need to change a system, that benefits them. They have the luxury to ignore injustice, when it doesn't directly affect or oppress them, even though I would argue that it still affects, who they are, to be perpetrating abuse against people. And then, you're going to have people who feel overwhelmed by the system, and I can definitely understand why people want to simplify things and come up with simple solutions, because they want to do something, you know, and but I feel very strongly that it's important to keep this idea of complexity in mind, because, I watched this TED Talk by this guy named Bud Cadell, and he talked about complex systems, and how, he made the statement about how complex problems require complex solutions. And so it can be really overwhelming. I get that. But I think in the end, it's worth it to kind of push through those feelings of being overwhelming, just to kind of understand like how we're connected to each other and how we're connected to the situation, and just be okay with, things are going to happen slowly. Things are going to change slowly, but there's hope. There's a lot of hope, I feel like, still. So, that's it. Okay, thank you.